Okay, we're going to bring this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We're all here tonight for that. Do we have to have the sheet on?
I don't know if she's on yet.
Okay.
You could say she'll be on later and introduce you if you want to.
Yeah. We will have Miss Bridget, correct?
Yes, there's an extra.
We'll have Bridget Ekstrom on later with DA Davidson. So that move on to 3.01.
Time for public comment?
Not yet.
It's supposed to be right after the Pledge of Allegiance.
Public comment and correspondence is 4.0. Okay, we'll go through announcements and recognitions first, and then we'll move into public comment. Mr. Bailey.
You betcha. Students are recognized at Pine Butte Pony Awards. We have a Maya shoulder blade this last month and Rocket Sees the Ground. Good job, you two. Bucket fillers for January with Ryder Robinson and Mateus Hurt. Congratulations, and I just want to give a shout out to Miss Georgie Bear for her swim unit. I think she's saving a lot of kids' lives, teaching them to swim. And the organization that goes behind that is just incredible. She still lets everybody get all their preps and all that stuff and organizes it, puts together, and I think it's a really, really positive thing that we do at Pine Butte. And it's well worth every ounce of sweat that goes into it. Save one kid's life teaching them to swim. So thank you.
We can already apologize.
So
I'd like to read off the Student of the Weeks week for January. We have Adley Rita, Johnny Bagley, Porcelain Shotgun, Trustin Eastman, Adam Angelina Talawama, Haley Katie, Sadie Brannon, Joseph Springer, Camden Link, Landon Nightwalker, Ramey Haugen, Kenny Breyer, Liam Wolf, Jack Krebs, Amelia Eigelhart, Logan Welcome, Grayson Barnes, Eli Colbert, and for lots of great things they did for following the 8 keys of excellence, all the different traits, character traits that they exhibited and that the staff had noticed that they have accomplished over the month of January. And then for the Student of the Month, then we have Jack Krebs for 6th grade. We had a tie for 7th grade. We had Landon Nightwalker and Adam Jer. And then we also had, that's for 7th grade. And then for 8th grade, we have Joseph Springer. So congratulations to those students.
Our January attendance competition results at the high school: juniors were 93.49%, sophomores 91.49%, seniors 88.39%, freshmen 88.20%. January Student of the Month Awards: freshman was Britton Steer, sophomore Morgan Robertson, junior Audrey Bell, senior Jenna Beatty. Our Rosebud County Public Health Be a Buddy Not a Bully winner for January was Mabel Small. Mabel was chosen based on exemplifying great character. She is respectful and a conscientious student. She'll receive a certificate and a $50 Amazon gift card from Rosebud County Public Health. I also wanted to recognize our CTE teachers, Mr. Ferret, Mrs. Cox, Mrs. Patton, and Mr. Griswold. Our original Perkins grant was approved for this year for $12,564. I submitted an amendment. There was additional money made available. For another $1,318, so they'll get 2 new angle grinders and a Milwaukee 4-tool combo set for the ag shop. They also offered a Perkins secondary grant. Application was approved for that funding for $3,005, and that'll purchase a new CNC router and a wood lathe. I'd also like to recognize Patton. She submitted another application for the Montana Advanced Opportunities Grant, which also goes to CTE, but it covers the middle school and the high school. So for the next school year, the middle school will receive $6,914.95. The high school will receive an additional $27,895.84. So significant. And the only other thing is we'd like to recognize all of the district. Last week was National School Counselor Week.
very good. Thank you very much.
And can I also add that when I left the office today, All the lights in the hallway were off and just pitch black.
Do have that in my report that CEI has been here working on lights, so.
Okay, moving on. 4.01, correspondence and public participation. This is the point in the meeting for comments on matters not already on the agenda. Comments on agenda items will be accepted when that item comes up during the meeting. Interested persons may also submit views in written form to the clerk or superintendent prior to the meeting, and those comments will be brought to the attention of the board during the meeting. Now, before I open it up, I want to remind everyone, we cannot and we will not talk personnel. And there's no board action on this. So with that, raise your hand. Calling you, come to the podium, tell us who you are, and let's talk.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time for me? Sorry, I'm trying to get athletes out the door. You said that we're not allowed to talk on personnel?
This is Caitlin Volka.
We cannot discuss personnel.
Okay, but I can read my thoughts and opinions as long as it doesn't talk about an employee of Colstrip Schools?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have you yet.
Please.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My name is Jonathan Stewart. I'm a freshman, and I prepared a speech just to speak about Mrs. O'Toole.
Okay.
Mrs. O'Toole is one of the finest principals I have ever had. I have had the privilege of learning under her. Her natural calm authority makes her a reassuring leader, especially in challenging situations. Her instilling confidence in her ability to lead effectively. Collaborating with her as the former student body president of Frank Bratton Middle School was an experience that highlighted her exceptional professionalism.
You're doing a great job. Just remember, be specific on personnel, okay, Jonathan? Okay. You're doing a great job?
It's a really hard line.
It is.
And cooperative spirit. During my time at FBMS, she demonstrated to me that my safety and well-being were of her highest priorities. Her ability to make prompt, well-informed decisions and to implement them effectively fosters deep admiration and trust. While I may not have agreed with every decision she has made, I recognize that her choices were grounded in careful consideration and in what she believes to be the best interests for the student and for the school community, which inspires confidence in her. Mrs. O'Toole exemplifies strong principled leadership, and her insight and judgment are invaluable. Her commitment to fostering a safe and supportive educational environment is evident, and she deserves recognition for the positive impact she has made, encouraging others to follow her example. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good job. Terry? You good?
Miss Caitlin, I don't know, so I don't know what your guys' rules are, what you have planned on here, and I don't know about the personnel stuff, but me along with everybody else in this room, I'm pretty sure that we're pissed off with the secret agenda I think you guys have going on here. I don't know if you're closing down a middle school or just trying to bully out two ladies that one has 33 years and one has 36 years with a clean record, and everybody here wants them here. The kids want them here. And I just want you to know the little guidelines of we can't talk about certain things. We got to hush, hush and walk here. I frankly don't even give a shit about it. Whatever happens, if they end up leaving, you guys have pissed off this many people. And you're probably gonna get frowned upon, glared at. Cause I don't like what you guys are doing. I don't even know who's doing it. Very secretive, very sneaky. And it's gross and it's mean. And I stand with these ladies right here. Thank you.
Marietta.
Just to clarify, we're not talking about personnel. Last year it was allowed, was that because there were resignations on the agenda? Okay, in that case,
We allowed a lot of that leeway last year because of the resignations on the agenda.
Okay.
So,
in that case, I'm going to take my letter and that will use it.
I'm Brandy Watson. This is my 16th year at Colstrip Public Schools, but I am also the president for our union, our teachers union. And I just wanted to also say that, of course, I'm going to speak highly of these ladies. I understand that most of my letter, because of what is now being enforced today, unlike last year, because of that, a lot of this will be considered discussing personnel. But I am also speaking with my letter on behalf of some members who felt because of non-tenure that they would have retaliation based on that for whatever they would want to say to support. So my letter also includes some pieces that they wanted me to say, and the board will get a copy. You guys can get a copy, and of course, public can request a copy. So, thank you.
I'm Louise Breeden. I'm a third grade educator and the CFA, the Teachers Union Vice President. I will also be sending my letter of support, since I can't read it tonight, to the board and to Mr. Otremba. In following with what Mrs. Watson said, there are many union members, again, that are afraid to speak up for any retaliation that might happen. Okay, thank you, and I sincerely send this in with respect, right? And ladies, I appreciate your many years, a total of 69 years. And with an educator with mine with 45 years, that's a lot of experience in this building, and I hate to see that leadership and experience go. All right.
Titling, activities, transportation, other things. I just want to say I disagree with what's happening here. Expect my letter, since I can't read it here tonight. I do feel like making.
Get off, please. Let's go.
I feel like making a bunch of changes at this time when there isn't a high school secretary and all the different things is just not a wise choice. You need to keep your knowledge where it is and just let things go the way there's nothing wrong with what's happening right now, and we just need to continue on with the way things are. If there are issues, then that's something that needs to be discussed, but until then, we need to just keep status quo.
Hi guys, you guys have a tough job. I have worked with both these two professionals for, oh my God, I don't even want to see how old I am, but since I was in school and my child is going to be graduating this year, but.
Sorry, can you state your name for the board?
Sharon Small.
Thank you.
I'm just curious what is so much better, I guess, with their experience and staff that they have. I think they've done a terrific job on a personal and professional level. So I support them 110%. My family supports them. Like I said, it's tough to get good leadership. So I'm just curious, why not work with them and figure something out and keep them on? I mean, shit, they've been here a long time. So I support them.
evening. My name is John Vejo, community for 53 years. I've sat where you sat. I've sat in the same chairs in much more difficult circumstances, by the way, all the way to the Supreme Court, and anything bad do straighten this district out. Now I'm the old guy, okay? And it's not easy to be here. So if I'm making a mistake, I'll tell them in advance, I'm sorry. But in any kind of case, I remember someone in their indictments. So I'll change this to more or less talking about the lack of leadership at times and how we deal with certain circumstances, people, etc. Maybe it's a lack of training, I don't know. So I'll give it my best shot. Thanks everybody for coming. Maybe we can get together. I got an idea. I'm extremely worried. I've been to the dentist, so if I bite my tongue and scream, I don't know what it is. But I'm extremely worried what the future is of our community and our schools. Due to the lack of transparency, leadership at all levels, make a decision that it is a very grievous concern that why you would allow somebody to be discharged in any case. And I'm doing the best I can with what I hope to say, but in some of these cases, you would probably destroy the credibility and the credibility of these folks, and folks that may have been here for some 60, 70 years and been good in the community. There's a process to do these things, and don't tell me you don't have the money. I hate that one. But you can buy out somebody's contract rather than destroy their life and all the years they put in what they did to get here. Some of you have done the same thing. So you need to do some soul searching and maybe go back to the drawing board and maybe rethink some of the things you're going to do for now and in the future. And if you're getting advice from an attorney or somebody, fire them, because you're not getting good advice at any level. But being in the circumstances you're in, I understand if you have something you can't talk about. Hopefully it is that grievous. But as long as I've known some of the people in this district, I don't think so. And I pray to God that it isn't. When we decided to go and fund the football fields on that, I wasn't on board. And a lot of people I know weren't on board. But thanks to some of your staff, turned it around, told you so, that we're getting on board with it. And I don't know if we'll be able to have a football team. How many games we play here? About 8, right? I happened to be here when we built the stadium and everything. So I remember all the ins and outs, and we could have got by till we figure out what's going to happen. We don't even know what the future of our community is. See, I just skipped that one. But anyhow, we passed levy on a multi-million-dollar facility when we couldn't even pass a mill levy. We couldn't hire a bus driver. We had all these issues going on and struggle. Kids that weren't allowed to come to school, kids that left. I mean, it's just like building a pot of spaghetti, but you didn't have a recipe and you didn't have no meat and you didn't have no pasta. It don't come out very good. It just don't. Can't say those names. I guess I honestly think, I don't know if our superintendent's certified or not. I was gonna ask somebody that, but I suppose I can't ask that either. But in any case, I know that's a 3-year process. I don't know where you're at with where you're at with the interim superintendent versus a long-term superintendent. There's no way to communicate around there. How do you find anything out? It goes through the room. That's why I did it. The only thing that's running pretty good right now, I think CCRD is run by the county. You know, and all these kind of things. So I know there's probably other people have things to say. I think it's an important group called Citizens for Responsible Government. So maybe we can make some changes and you could get involved in.
Thank you, Rick.
Janelle? Hold on, we got somebody on the. Can she hear us?
Janelle?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Janelle Loining. I'm a former employee from Colstrip. Although I'm not there anymore and I wanted to be there tonight in person, the weather didn't allow me to be there. I am very upset that I never heard back from any of the board members and or the superintendent, even though I sent correspondence to both all of them and the superintendent. So that kind of gives me a little taste of what the leadership looks like, I guess. Robin and Alicia have been outstanding. And what I want to say to that is my daughter would not be alive today if it wasn't for Robin and Alicia. They take the time and invest in these students, even when they do not have to. The experience that these students are having with the bullying and just everything that they have to deal with. And sometimes they got parents at home that care and sometimes they don't. And both Robin and Alicia step up and have at times neglected their own families to be able to be there for the kids at school. They take care of their teachers. Their teachers are expected to put in time and effort as well. And I think everyone respects them. With 36, 37 years and 33 years, and you're thinking of not having them there, what political agenda could there possibly be more important than making sure that those students and the faculty and everyone else is taken care of? And I think that most of you know the reason that I left was because leadership was lacking. But it wasn't ever lacking on that level. It was lacking in the administration level. And I would please ask you to really sit and consider what you are thinking about doing with the students that are left. Both of those women are loved and pour their heart and soul and everything they got into their buildings, into the Colstrip community, just into everything. And I think that it's a huge disservice to both of them to receive letters, even though they both have stellar marks. Stellar marks. And if there's an issue between not liking someone because of their attitude, then that's a you problem. Because those ladies would do anything and everything they could to help and to facilitate. Anything. So please respect that. And please respect that they have an outpouring of love, and it shouldn't just be, let's say, 5 board members and a superintendent that get to make that decision, because you guys all got voted in because the community loved all of you too and thought you were going to do what was best for the kids. So please stand on business when it comes to that. Stand on business and let everybody be heard. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Janelle. Sir?
Good evening. My name is Alan Fisher. I have kids here. I have 2 boys that went to school here, K-12. My daughter's a senior this year. She started in kindergarten. And it's because of people like you and here, the education. Our children, all that come here to school every day, safe, good deal. Come home, my daughter, she does great today. She's going to graduate. That's something awesome, you know. My boys are lifelong friends with their schoolmates that have been here, you know. The children of Alicia and Robin, you know. the administration for the school has always been great, and it always shows up in our kids' work and their curricular activities. That's one of the greatest things, you know, that we can come here and be confident in what's going to happen here. And my biggest question is I heard that they're getting rid of the principals, and it's like, damn, that's a interesting thing, because this community goes a long ways from here, you know, and everybody's involved one way or another. Whether we have to drive bus or find our ways, kids to get to school here, we do that. And because we believe in what happens here, and we believe in the leadership that's sitting right here. We don't have to question. We ask them for help or guidance for our children, you know. And on your level, I have a lot of faith that things are going to come down as they're supposed to, with our community, our children, our families, and all our people that work together here. And we just believe in what Colstrip's about, and we have for years. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tessa Morlock. Now, I am currently a sophomore at this high school, and I've only been here for about a year and a half. But the thing is, these two ladies are amazing. I went from a place of highly toxic leadership, of people in roles and abusing those roles to target people, whether staff or student. And when I came here, I expected the same thing because I had gone through it almost my entire years through like middle school, elementary school. I had experienced that, and so I expected that when I came here. But when I came here, I did not find that at all. What I found was a loving lady who supported me, who supported all of her students, all of her staff. It felt like a family, not just a teacher-student situation. It felt like someone who was actually caring for me, who actually wanted me to learn and grow. This, I feel, is you're trying to take away these two ladies' positions, and whatever secret thing is going on, I don't want to be put back into this toxic leadership role, whatever. And if that happens, I don't want to be here. And I'm sure there's several staff, students that don't want to be here either. And I'm sure they'll leave if these two ladies are taken away. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Trey?
My name, come on. Trey Croft, Searsia. I have a really nice prepared statement, but due to the rule change, I'll have to go through and I will have to go through and submit that all in writing. But I will say that when we talk about trust and we talk about people that we trust, I think that a whole lot of people in this room have a whole lot more trust in some people than they do right now. Trust is built, trust is earned. And quite frankly, these two ladies got it.
Thank you.
My name is Deanna Patton. I'm an FCS teacher here at the high school. I know some people said, don't talk, but I'm going to, because I'm not afraid to speak. The reason is 4 years ago, I was hired as the FCS teacher. And the program was almost gone for the most part, barely any classes, a couple of kids in each class. And I had to cut kids off in most of my classes. Now I've built the program, and some of you have seen like my sewing and textiles room. It's huge. I've got kids that you never thought would be involved, that started out as freshmen, that wouldn't do anything, wanted to sleep. So as I say that, I want to back up to 10 years ago when I came here. I subbed in this building. I volunteered in this building. And the blankets and the pajamas and slippers and leaving to go get coffee as they pleased was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But over the years, the more I came back, the more I fell in love with the high school. And that lady there is part of the reason why I fell in love with the high school. And this is where, when I decided that I wanted to teach again after 27 years not, I wanted to be here. And I want to help all these kids that I have come through my classroom be ready for adulthood and to go into work, into families. I couldn't have done any of that without the support of my principal, Mindy, Karen. I mean, I couldn't have done it without everybody's help because I took a program that was dying for the most part. There was no textiles. There wasn't a lot. And to now to have, for the most part, most of the time, a full docket for all my classes, that is really huge. I also do FCCLA, and it has gone from 1 or 2 kids to now I have a consistent about 7 to 10. And then I also had the pleasure of doing art club for Karen last year, and that was great to reach out to them. And this year, because it was needed, I applied to be the speech and drama coach, which I fell in love with that, by the way. But you know, it takes being here, and I see what's needed. And the school needs these things. These kids need those things. But again, I couldn't have done it without the support of Robin and Wendy and my fellow employees to help back me and support me. And hey, here's some material. Here I have some cake pans. I couldn't have gotten it where it is right now in 4 years without all of this. And so I just have to say thank you. And you did forget one I got. I got the $1,500 garden grant too. The check has been cashed, but that's also something I love to do, is to write grants. But again, I couldn't do that without the support of everyone. All right? And a couple of years ago, we had 7 people leave. The first 5 years, it was rough around here. But, you know, we had to change the rules. We had to change what they were used to, and that takes time. You don't just do that overnight and it be successful usually. And I look out here and I'm seeing these seniors that were freshmen my first year. Whew, it took me for a ride my first year back to work, but they were so well worth it. I have seen them grow and they mean the most to me because I get to watch them be adults now. It's pretty awesome. So please know, change takes time, all right? And on average, change takes 4 to 5 years. And you're gonna see that continue. So whether or not things change here or not, you're gonna see the change regardless because of what she has done. Thank you.
I will have to submit a letter later, but I just want to tell everybody here in this room, you know, we're running out of educators. We're running out of people. This is a small town. When I came here, I thought it was Little House on Prairie from where I went to school, okay? So last year we saw when everybody come being another educator being lost, okay? What I really feel is you can replace this type of knowledge. What they say 69 years. 69 years. I'm not even that old. They got it. But I just want to give you a little history. When I first come here, I couldn't speak or nobody could understand me and I couldn't hear anybody. This school system gave me a chance, okay? And what I'm asking for now is for y'all to give them a chance, okay? We can't afford to lose any more educators. And I'm just a nurse. I'm just looking in on this picture. But I can tell you that every year when we lose people, we're not getting a return on what we had, okay? You can't lose 35 years, 38 years educators and think that you're gonna turn that around and you're gonna replace that. Okay, and Robin will tell you, I was with the little kids. Little kids are easy, let me tell you, they love you, they're great. And I thought I'd died and gone to hell when they took me to middle school. If you think that you can handle all these kids like this in middle school and high school, y'all better back up. Because there's many days when I sit on the wall and I'm like, thank God I'm not a teacher, I'm not a principal, I'm not anything. But the thing that I encourage your town and my town now after 15 years is let's work together. Let's not get rid of all these educators because we're not replacing them. We're seeing that, okay? And I will submit a letter for both of them. And thank you for giving me a chance when nobody could understand the word I said.
Can I ask to talk from home? This is Lonnie Hartman.
Did you have your hand raised?
Not yet. Lonnie, would you, after Gary talks, raise your hand for me, please?
You bet.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Mr. Perry?
Gary Perry, I live here in town. One of the things that we all have to recognize is that there's a lot of tough decisions that have to be made. There's two sides to every story. I know from sitting up at a little seat in Helena that we're working hard to try to get more educators. We're trying to pass legislation that encourages new teachers. I think that there's some problems in the district. I will agree with that. But eliminating two people doesn't solve the problem. You've established a cultural problem that needs to be addressed by all of us over a period of time. And attacking two is not going to solve the problem. I don't know where you're going to find additional administrators. We can't even find teachers. We're having to go to the Philippines to get people to come and teach in our schools. Where are we going to get administrators with the kind of experience that we've got? If we've got a situation where things that need to be corrected, I found that coaching helps quite a lot. And if we want to eliminate two, we should eliminate three. If our superintendent is not taking care of their administrators that they have in place, they need to be held accountable as well. So I think you have to be very careful when you make these decisions. They're going to be long lasting and they're going to be very impactful on this entire community. Listen to both sides, make good decisions, people. Good job.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Lonnie?
Hi, I'm here. I'm not perfect at this on how to do it, but I do want to speak on how I feel. I've been in Colstrip for 51 years. I've gone to school in every single building that has ever been provided in Colstrip. That includes the auxiliary gym, that includes the old mall. I've done it all in the classrooms. I've seen it all. I was here during the boom since the 70s. I have had my kids all went to school from start to finish. Now I have a grandchild in this school. I'm tired of watching our school system keep slipping further and further down. I'm sorry, but there's no other way to describe it. We have got some phenomenal principals, 3 of them, as a matter of fact. And I'm asking that you guys please look at all sides of this. Look at what we have. It's pretty sad when we want to get rid of 2 of them. Alicia has been there for us as a family since my kids were in school. There was never a thing I could not go to her for. If I ever had questions on education, she was the person I went to. Always, always have, still do. She is top notch. She's not perfect. She makes mistakes just like every teacher does, just like the superintendents do. And I'm asking you, please, look at what's happening to our schools. I'm tired of watching kids and parents leave our community. It's sad. At one time, Colstrip it was amazing, absolutely amazing to grow up here and live here. And now there's people that can't wait to get out of here. And the biggest reason you continually hear is our schools. That's really sad because you know what? When we were growing up, everybody was jealous because we got to go to school here. It's not like that anymore, and we need to get it back. I understand that you guys as a board you say that you have no say in this because it came from the superintendent, but you do have a say to be able to speak up. You are the superintendent's boss. We elected you in these spots to be able to speak up, to be our voice. And us as parents, grandparents, we are asking, please listen to what the community is saying. I have never had to deal with Robin, but I have watched Robin for many years. Seems like she's phenomenal with those kids, super hands-on, as is Alicia. There's a lot of things that kids are having to deal with these days, as you all know, not things like it was when we were growing up. A lot of new things. Have any of you ever sat down and talked with these principals and asked them, what is it that you have to deal with in everyday life with these kids to help get them through? That's another big thing. Ask them. I know you think that we're all blowing smoke up your butts, but we're not. We're talking to you as young parents and old grandparents. So all I'm asking is please listen. Listen to all sides because I'm tired of watching good educators leaving our school system. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna, listen, I understand. There's a lot of support for these two administrators. There's been a lot of talk of, we gotta turn this ship around. You know, sometimes that starts at the top too. This board right here has what's, I think, I don't want to speak for them, but what's the best interest for our students? You know, we're not firing anybody. We're not asking them to leave. We're asking them to play a different role in these kids' education in this district. Okay, so let's remember that. No one's getting fired or dismissed. We're asking for a different role. I appreciate the support. I'm sure they do as well. This is with new leadership. Sometimes you have to change up from the top as well. There's a lot going on in this district right now, a lot. This is not one of the things that this board thought we'd be dealing with right now. It's not. But this is, I'm not through yet, Joe. Okay, so I want you, like Mr. Perry said, there's two sides to this. We have to look at both sides. Okay, you guys can look at the one. We have to make a decision based on both. Okay, I'll let public comment go on for a little bit more, but we have a guest waiting for us on the bond, and we've got some other business we got to get to as well tonight. So,
I was going to say, oh, come on, give some other old guy. I'm not going to cuss. I do have a question, Mr. Chairman, first of all, because the best I could hear is that this was also going to be discussed under 8.08, and I could be wrong, so clarify that for me, would you?
8.08.
Or is this the only time that the public gets to speak on this issue?
On 8.08, there's only one.
Okay, the agenda doesn't say that, so.
The printed off one, though. Yes, it should say Just the ones.
It's just a condensed agenda.
Yeah.
So this is the time?
Yes.
Okay. I was, let's see, we're not supposed to say names. So I won't say your building principal in the high school worked for me directly for years. Okay, so I can tell you the truth about that. That's what I know. I don't know behind every closed door or every dirty bathroom or every rumor in Colstrip. I'm unfortunately hearing a lot of them, but, and I agree with some of the speakers, that culture could be changed because I know so many great people in Colstrip and parents of the kids that go to school here. So I think we can get together. Your principal was always honest. And quite frankly, didn't always agree with me as their superintendent. So you guys have a choice, I think, and everybody does. Do we want always a yes person or bring issues, discuss them, work them out? I really like that, and even President Abraham Lincoln, if you want to study history, really liked that sort of a team. When she left as our special ed director, our students and our parents' rights were greatly decreased. And I know that's a native school. I don't know how many of you are really bothered by that, but she was a person that was a tremendous athletic supporter. I don't know, have you heard, Langdon considers himself a basketball school. Okay, and for a long time, some people didn't think in music or art or speech and drama were as important as some of those athletes, but our special education director at the time cared much for those students. And so ultimately our school, while she was there, did better academically. And I don't know if we've heard a lot of that tonight. I don't know what the academic reports of Colstrip under these guys' leadership is. If it's in the toilet, then they have something to do with it, I suppose. I came here because it's a great academic school, I think. But I've never heard her yell at a student that was misbehaving, like, you either shut up or get out of here. She had like a magic with students. She could go up, get close to them and say, quietly, be quiet, get yourself under control, breathe. I didn't hear all the things she said, but I know the student calmed down, and I've seen a lot of students that way. In our district, many of our folks that have worked with her for tournaments and school activities really like to come here, and oftentimes I've heard that leadership is really helpful. In many ways, I've actually seen her help other schools that were in trouble with certain things. We could call her and say, I'm having a trouble with our discipline policy, such and such, and what do you do in Colstrip? Because every time we come for a tournament and do activities and festivals and stuff, your kids are pretty darn good. And I had 2 people open doors for me, students and stuff, in the last 2 days. They must think I'm old or something, which I don't like, but I just see so many great students. So I'd like to make sure that y'all understand that my experience with her has been really good. She's a quality person. I had a big problem with her about 11 years ago, and that was that she lived here. And I don't think that's a bad record. Do you agree with that? Anyway, thanks, board. And you guys, being a board member is always tough. Being a superintendent's tough. I believe there are other options rather than, and by the way, I know the legal reason you say that nobody's being fired. Okay, and I know the lawyer that's telling you that. And part of it's true, you guys. There's a potential legal argument to say, well, we're not firing you or kicking you down the road because we're reassigning you. Okay, but most of us, even us old superintendents, know what's really happening. And so I would ask that we look at other options. If people were planning to retire, I don't know, it'd be nice to mediate some sort of, well, I'll retire now and it'll be effective at the end of next year, or I don't know. We have also offered a lot, so this board members consider, we've offered a lot, especially to people, and am I getting this right? 36 years, 50 some total, like, I can add, I went to a good school, but it's a lot of years. Maybe something could be worked out for that works for the community and the honor of the school and the honor of all of you educators that decide to stay with us and also take directions. By the way, I don't remember ever your principal refusing any kind of directive that I gave as a superintendent. So that's the kind of employee I think you want. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nicole Christian. I'm a science teacher here in the high school. I'm here to speak on the direct impact on student achievement and community morale. Under the current tenure, we have seen growth in student personal responsibility, alternate pathways for at-risk students, career planning, and steps towards achievement of said plan, voice, respect, and inclusion of Colstrip Public Schools' diverse cultural needs. That directly aligns with this district's stated mission for excellence. Our district's stated goals are to provide a safe, high quality, and equitable education designed to prepare students for college and career readiness. This leadership is aligned with this goal. The daily actions of this current leadership is a vital public asset to our children's education. I strongly urge the board to prioritize continuity to maintain our school's upward trajectory. Retaining such proven leadership is essential for the long-term stability and success of our students. Thanks.
Thank you. Like I said, I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the support. We'll let Mrs. O'Toole and Mrs. Nansel speak, but then we're moving on to our agenda.
I guess I'm the one that's supposed to speak. First, thank you to the many, many students, parents, and community members who have voiced their support. Thank you also to our families for their love and support. We have been asked to share the following statement. Contrary to statements made to the press, we are not classified employees. We are covered under Title 20. And while the board can potentially transfer us back into the classroom, your superintendent is making this recommendation after telling both of us that if we choose not to retire, he will take adverse action against us. Apparently, the transfer recommendations are the adverse actions. If the board takes this recommendation from the superintendent before investigating these allegations, we will be looking at an action based on age and gender discrimination. Because you said it was over, but I was already stand up before you made that rule, okay? I love to cuss, by the way, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna address what we're all gonna talk about in the parking lot, all right? They're gonna be like, so what's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? So I don't know if your little agenda, or whatever you're doing in Buckley Town, sir, but here, you get rid of principals, right? I always grew up with hearing you fire the first hire. I don't know why we're starting at the top and going down. So say you're gonna make Robin go in the kitchen, you're gonna make Alicia go sweep up janitor stuff. Well then who are you gonna get to replace them? Why not just just leave it alone. I just do not understand that. And then you guys work for people who voted you in. You're the voice for us. And then you just seem really cocky and like you seem like the little imposter, and you're like, we appreciate all this. We're not here supporting you, sir. None of us are here for you guys. This is not your support, so we don't need your thank you. But you guys really do work for the people. So do what's right. And we want to know, what is your agenda with them? Why can't you be open and just tell us? Why can't you just be a superintendent and say, you know what, Mrs. Pipe, we don't like them, or we think they'd be better in the kitchen cleaning the bathroom, and we're going to go ahead and get someone else in here, maybe family member, we're not sure yet, and then we'll just go on with our happy little way and talk shit about you guys. Let us know what you guys are doing. It's so secretive, and that corruption is what's ruining our tribe, what's ruining any type of thing that we have going on, because you're secretive and you're manipulative and you have these little whatever the fuck you guys are doing.
Hey.
No.
Enough.
You enough.
Enough.
Enough, sir.
We've
Okay, I'm
listened to
talking,
you
all right?
twice.
No, I'm talking. That's what you told this gentleman. Okay? So
We're done.
figure it out. Let us know what's going on.
You'll know.
When?
Later on.
And just know that if you get rid of them, I'm sure there's several other people that are gonna leave too.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna get rid of?
That's right.
Who are you gonna get rid of?
Okay, we're moving on now. With that, we're going to 5.01 consent agenda.
Have fun with your meeting.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I say something? Yeah, we already moved on.
We've already moved on. Where's that? Well, I'm sorry, we've already moved on.
But you guys are public officials, and you guys are voted in by all these people.
I know, but we're already on to the next
I
assignment
know,
now, so
you
I'm
guys
sorry.
should be here until midnight.
We have got
And you
other
guys
things.
forget that you're working for the kids. This is the kids. And these two have hearts for the kids. And my parents, my mom went to school here, like I told Mr. Otama when I met him, that my mom and all her aunts are out there as salutatorians and valedictorians because the school is strong. And it's because of administration, not somebody who just came in. I know you've only been here about a year. Get to know the community, get to know all these people, all these kids. Go to the activities like I do. I go to the activities, I'm one of your subs. I go in, I get a hug every time I go in. And I see these ladies do also. Because their kids are right here, and that's their priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Consent agenda.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay. With that, I'll go to the vote. Francis?
Aye.
Serena?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. We have nothing to really discuss on the governor's calendar.
You're gonna do Bridget.
Right.
Oh.
I'm just gonna, we haven't even done the governor's calendar anyway. So we need to discuss right now. So with that, I need to skip ahead to 8.17. Bridget, are you still with us?
Yes. Hi, guys.
Oh.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Excuse me. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to kind of introduce the bond resolutions tonight, and in addition to your tax compliance procedure agenda item, and just give a quick overview. I know you have a full agenda tonight. This is like one of the easiest topics you will have all year. It's been a really smooth bond issuance process. I want to thank Steve, Sabrina, Scott, and Brittany for serving on the Bond Finance Committee. We locked interest rates last week at a really favorable rate of 3.5%. Those bonds are tax-exempt bonds. The interest income is exempt from both federal and state income tax, which is why the rate is so low at 3.5%. Saving taxpayers money for bond purposes. over the course of the 10-year term, which was a really great decision to use kind of that lower term, taking advantage of the current tax base. You were given an A+ rating by Standard & Poor's, which is a really great rating. It's probably in the top third of Montana schools as far as credit ratings go. The rating report you probably have had a chance to take a look at least in the board packets from prior meetings. But essentially, it went through a credit review, and it talked about the district's balanced operations that are expected to continue through fiscal 2026 and will help sustain available reserves, and talked about your standard financial policies and practices, one of which is that you're current on your audit reports, which a lot of our Montana schools are not current on audit reports. So great job to the business office for maintaining strong practices. And then it also just talked about your manageable long-term liabilities and no plans to issue additional debt in the near future. So all of that was a very favorable report, helped us to secure that really great rate at 3.5%. The bonds were sold to local banks, individuals in $5,000 increments, other purchasers like insurance companies and mutual funds. Really, after locking rates last week, tonight's agenda item will just be to adopt the final bond resolution, which will set forth the budget for the debt service account for the next 10 years, and then to adopt the financial, the tax compliance procedures, which basically say that the improvements will be public for public purposes, not for private purposes. So pretty standard agenda items tonight, and we really feel great about the process moving forward. The money will be in the district's funds through the county treasurer's office next a week from it'll be February 18th, next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. So that money will be invested, and you'll be earning 4% or so on those monies, and those monies will be available for the project as well. So great news on all fronts, and I'll take any questions. Otherwise, when the agenda item comes up, you'll be able to adopt those resolutions.
No, thanks for all your help on that, Bridget. I feel like the process went smoothly, and I learned a lot, new stuff.
Yeah.
So appreciate you.
Appreciate all the help.
Yeah, great job, you guys. Really fantastic, good news. Yeah, and then you'll have the bond premium and the investment earnings and the proceeds next week, and everything will go smooth as you move ahead with the project. I think you expect to complete all the projects by the spring of 28. So you'll have a couple of years of investment earnings, which will be great as you move ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
So, do you want to move back up? Should we go back up to the top, or you want to do
Yeah,
those?
go back up.
Okay.
We'll just leave the other ones down there and
Get
approve them
them
later.
when they come up?
Yeah.
Okay. 8.01. It's Denny.
This is our close-up group for this year. Kyla's first one was returning from last year. She's going to tell you a little bit.
I'm Kyla. Last year I went to the close-up trip and it was amazing. We did things like in DC, you go to DC and New York. We did things like go to the monuments and the memorials, and you talk a lot about policy and politics in general right now. And then in New York, you go to places like the Statue of Liberty and the 9/11 Museum, and super educational. It's a great trip, and I hope you guys support this group going this year.
And Kyla was our spokesperson on the final night in DC for her group. So that was pretty exciting. So
thank you.
I'm Brendan Moline.
I'm Brooklyn Fox.
I'm Maddie Dudley.
I'm Addie Vincent.
We are requesting out-of-state travel to Washington, D.C. and New York City, where we will be observing and meeting with government officials, including the Montana State representatives. And we will also be going to national monuments and meeting with our peers from across the country. All four of us have already paid the $3,800 fee for the trip.
Okay.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the close-up out-of-state travel to Washington DC and New York on May 30th, 2026 to June 7th, 2026.
Second. I got Angie.
I got Andy. Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this agenda item? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd also like to thank the Colstrip High School administration and ADs I've worked with since 2009. I took over Close-Up following Russ Davidson. We are one of the longest running schools that has attended Close-Up. This is my final year. This is my last group. I'll be done with Close-Up this year. So thank you, high school.
Uh, 8.02. Mrs. Menahan. Oh, we put slides on.
Yes, they have slides for you guys this time.
Cool, great.
Right, here's Mel's. Thank you. Don't break it.
So, hi, I'm Ashley Zolsdorf, and I'm going to be the one mostly talking through this presentation. This is all of EPA, all of our people who are wanting for the nationals. And one of the main reasons why we're up here is why you should even let us go to nationals. Okay, so last year's theme was Capture the Moment in Orlando, Florida. Yes. And this year's theme is Amplify Your Impact in Nashville, Tennessee by the new officers. What we mainly do at nationals. In nationals, we experience so much out of our state. It's honestly such a cool experience. Meeting the officers, the people, even the people who talk to us, like the speakers, they're so cool to watch and so cool to listen to. And the little experiences that we have in the workshops that we do are so influential and very cool, honestly. The main reason why we arrive so early is because we mainly work on BPA national staff with the BPA national staff members. We also set up for opening sessions, like putting up the flags. Last year we had to blow up these big beach balls so the people could like toss them around a huge room that we were in. We mainly also unpacked and rearranged all the medals, which took a couple of hours, but honestly, it was so much fun. And we also handed out the awards for all three divisions, which is middle, secondary, and post-secondary. And we also had to retack everything afterwards, which even took longer, but at the end of the day, it was super duper fun, and we got to learn a lot more things. These are just some of the pictures that I had personally taken during our trip, and honestly, it was so fun. I will never forget most of the times that I had to meet these new people from these other schools, and everyone was so kind and so nice to me and others, and even my advisor as well. And even one of our, I think that's Brayden. Brayden was up there on stage receiving an award, which honestly was so cool to see. I was even able to meet a few of the officers, which they're so kind and so nice. And we were able to go to Disneyland, all the pictures we took, and Disney World. But even just the flight there, it was so much fun. In the end, all the experiences that I personally experienced, and I'm sure my advisors and Riley here and our new people that will experience will honestly help them in the future if they want to go into business or even just speaking in front of people like I am to you guys now. Honestly, I think visiting other places in the United States is also very cool because this is a small town. You don't really get to travel a lot, obviously. So being able to experience like, oh my gosh, this is a big new city, this is cool, will honestly like help us in the future of being like, oh, I know what to do, or oh, I know where to go and stuff. In Nashville, Tennessee, we're also going to be competing in business and leadership categories and a lot of workshops as well. We'll also be, me and Braden personally, we're able to experience the Nashville culture again because we're able to go with band, thanks to Mr. Croft. We are also able to meet again the officers of BPA and also a lot of the staff members again. And just being able to have those connections with those other people are such a big influence to me and to others, I'm sure. And honestly, it brings a lot of excitement to the BPA, to BPA in general, because you know you get to meet new people again, and honestly, it's so cool. Some of the pictures of the places in Nashville we're going to see is going to the Grand Ole Opry, a creative studio, Music Hall of Fame. We're also going to be doing an escape game, which we've never done before. And honestly, we're going to be staying at an amazing hotel with amazing people, so I'm really, really excited.
She got scared when she saw how much money they have to raise. Brenda Minahan, I've been the advisor for a lot of years here with BPA. And yes, I'm not an educator, but I love working with the students. I guess it's what keeps me young. Okay, so if you look at our travel costs, it is quite expensive for us to go this year to Nashville. It is not cheap. Airline costs are eating us alive. I have not found anything under $650 to $700 to get us there. Our hotel, again, that's very expensive for us too. The lodging, registration, transportation. One thing that they didn't know that they were going to be doing is this year there's a whole separate day for leadership. So they will attend that all day versus what it was before. So there's a cost this year for that. There's some of the tours that they have, as well as they do trading pins. So the kids get to go around and trade with all the other people there. So as you can see, for one student to go, it's $2,650 and some odd cents. And I'm sure a little bit more on top of that. So you take that, you add it times 7, and that adds up really fast. So some of the things that we have done to raise money is we've sold caramel apples, Martinson's candy. They work concessions as much as they can. However, they're in band, they're in cheer, they're in art club, they're in wrestling, so I don't get them all the time. So it's hard for them to work some of the things in and get some of the money that they need for them. They try and sell cotton candy as much as they can, and they do their coffee shop. We do have about 3 more fundraisers where we can do our coffee shop, but that's kind of where we are right now. Another couple sources are, there's a grant, so I'm hoping we can participate in part of that grant money, as well as some of the Perkins money. I know some of the other schools use that to send their advisor, things with that. And then with that too, we're probably going to do a new campaign of, can you lend us a hand? So at this point, if anybody's willing to make a donation, help us out, sponsor us, we'd be more than glad to accept anything and everything that can be thrown at us this way. Give us the bonus to be there with them. The other thing that the kids don't tell you is they interact a lot with the national staff. This year we have a new CEO and a lot of new board members, as well as the executive officers. I am on the board of trustees. I'm lucky enough to be on there for another 3 years. So I work closely with the board of trustees, so they get to meet all of them. They get to interact with the national staff. And what it does is it really opens up our school. The production company that does the awards, when they did their winter meeting, the first thing they said is Brenda and the Colstrip kids coming back again this year? Because the awards sessions run so much smoother with those kids there. So it's the little things that people here in Colstrip don't see that they do, but they make a big impact at National. Appreciate it. They do get to sleep about 6 hours a night. They are up and going by 7 a.m. and they're back in their rooms by 11 at night. We do some fun stuff, but they do a lot of work and they learn a lot from it and competitions. Okay, back to you. Well, there's more slides. There is, I forgot that.
Oh yes, this is whenever we had participated during regionals. But no, honestly, we're just asking for permission to go to nationals. Like I said before, it is such a big impact on me and others, including Riley herself. And being able to compete would honestly be and national would be such a big deal for me because bragging rights. But I really appreciate if you guys would let us go to nationals. I really hope you guys do say yes, and I really thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves CHS BPA to travel to Nashville, Tennessee, May 2nd, 2026 to May 10th, 2026. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board?
This is a great presentation. Thank you. Yes, good job.
Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. 8.03.
Okay, I've got a recommendation for Mark Norton. Basically what happened is as of 2/2/26, we had a need for a long-term contract to be extended. That'd be extended through today. And then we're also bringing him, see what the next one, I think that's the next one, yeah. So we see extend that contract for now. It was a little bit longer than we anticipated that he would be in there serving that position.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the extension of the long-term subcontract for Mark Norton for the 25-26 school year. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 8.04.
Okay, 8.04, I'd like to recommend Mark Norton for district paraprofessional.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Mark Norton as district paraprofessional for the 25-26 school year. Second. Sorry.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 8.05.
All right, I'll be making one more recommendation. This is for district sub for Jessica Weber for the school year.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Jessica Weber as district substitute for the 25-26 school year. Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. All right. 8.06.
All right, be recommending Jennifer Arneson, Special Education Director for the 26-27 school year.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Jennifer Arneson as the Special Education Director for the 26-27 school year. Second.
Okay, motion and second on this. Any public comment? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
07.
All right, be recommending to rehire for the 26-27 school year, Katie Nozier, Supervisor of Curriculum and Instruction.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Katie Nozier as administrative staff for the 26-27 school year, Supervisor of Curriculum and Instruction. Second.
Okay, have a motion and second on this. Do I have any public comment on this agenda item? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 8.08.
Okay, recommending to rehire Bart Bailey, elementary school principal for the 26-27 school year.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Bart Bailey, elementary school principal for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this agenda item? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
09.
Okay, we'll be recommending to rehire for the 26-27 school year, Robert Whitehead, maintenance director.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Robert Whitehead, maintenance director for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this agenda item? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Is Robert in the room tonight?
I haven't seen.
8.10.
Okay, I'll be making a recommendation to rehire Brittany Allen for the business manager, 26-27 school year.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves Brittany Allen, business manager for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any further or any public discussion on this agenda item? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
This is you, 8.11.
Me already. All right, so what we're doing here is approving, I already submitted the impact aid applications. I have attached those in there for you guys all to be able to see those, review them. Kind of went over this last week. My process is to have a parent meeting, gather them together, give them the opportunity to comment on the policy. And they did, and we had some communication there. And so you'll see on the next item later is the policy, and we redlined what they suggested taking out. And I think that it was just a really good meeting. I think they want to have more involvement in Impact Aid. They want to have more involvement with the title programs. And so I think that's where it starts. So we're excited about that. So the minutes are attached there. The applications are attached there. I send a thank you letter to the BIA and the tribe for their help. I have to have them sign off on all the information that I put on those applications. So to get their support is really helpful. And then the last one is just a data summary that I do every time to kind of show you where our impact aid numbers are. And our special education numbers are in there. And so we are down just a little bit from last year. But I think it's kind of shown a little bit of an up and down there as well. So nothing too surprising for me on that data that we collected. So yep, so you guys are just kind of approving the impact aid application, which kind of makes me laugh every year because I already did it. But yeah, any questions you guys have, I'm happy to answer. So
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the fiscal year 27 elementary and high school impact aid application as presented.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any public comment on this?
Janelle Lining has her hand raised.
Janelle, you have a comment on impact aid? Janelle?
So I had a question from before, but it wasn't allowing me to put my hand up so that I could ask the question from before.
before on what?
The approval of Bart Bailey.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're past that now.
Yep. So why isn't Robin and Alicia on the docket for being approved or denied?
Because they're not, they'll be under the classified.
Certified.
Certified, sorry.
Certified.
But everybody else in the administration was under that. That's not making sense to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're moving on.
Okay.
Yeah, any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 8.12.
Okay, so this is the actual policy, and I put the minutes in there too, so you guys could kind of follow along with what we did change. They had a lot of suggestions, and I mentioned it in the last meeting that they would like for a board member. It says in our policy that a board member would attend some of those meetings, so we still kind of need to get that person appointed to do that as well. So if you guys will discuss that too, they would like to see that. And then they said they no longer have a Northern Cheyenne Tribal Council chairman, so they wanted that struck from the policy. And then we don't currently have a homeschool coordinator, so they wanted that struck as well. There were some things that they said, you know, they didn't want to receive the minutes in the mail because they show up to the next meeting and get to hear the minutes there, so they didn't feel like that was needed. I believe that is all that we struck out of there. So if that is approved, that's all that will change for this time on the policy. But we review it every single year, so.
How many times does that committee meet?
I believe I only have the one meeting, and then the curriculum director, I believe, holds an Indian Education Committee, and they meet. And we have some of them here. I believe they meet 3 times, I think is what the policy says, is that they'll meet 3 times a year. And then I do, you know, mine, but, so.
Okay. I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the changes to policy 7231, Indian policies and procedures for impact aid as presented.
Okay, a motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board?
I wouldn't mind being on that committee, and if I can make the times that they have, so.
I'll do alternate.
Okay.
We can do it together as long as there's not 3 of us.
Yeah. Between us, we'll do good.
All right, with that, Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. 8.13.
Okay, we've got a recommendation here. It was brought to the January work session. This is policy 4550, registered sex offenders. And I'll go ahead and just read through it real quick. Why MTSBA model policy 4550 addresses the presence of registered sex offenders on school district property. We removed from the model policy a statement indicating the policy only applies when when the offender's victim was a minor. It is frequently difficult to ascertain whether or not the victim was a minor, and the restriction was causing confusion regarding whether access to school property could be restricted for other registered offenders. So we made those appropriate updates. And in addition, the board wanted to strike the word whose last meeting.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to policy 4550, registered sex offenders as presented.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Policy 3665.
Okay, 3665, student safety. Another recommended update based on House Bill 745. requires adoption of school districts of a student safety policy requiring a fingerprint criminal history check prior to any individuals, employees, volunteers, chaperones having unsupervised contact with students. So it is possible that the content of the draft administrative rules may change in the rulemaking process. If this occurs, it may or may not be necessary to update the above referenced policies again. So we'll be waiting to find that out. We'll monitor the rulemaking process and make changes to model policies when and or if that is supported by adoption of final rules that are different from the proposed rules. Meanwhile, adoption of the recommended changes to policy 3665 will ensure continued compliance with the requirements of HB 745, which is why we're doing this. And then also during the last work session, it was decided that the district may designate certain employees and volunteers who will never have unsupervised contact with students and are therefore exempt from the background check requirement. Such designations may include, but are not limited to, was the wording, which is put forth and presented to you here.
And then we, at the work session, said that there wouldn't be any positions, right? We wouldn't list any positions there. We decided.
Right.
Because everybody that we hired has a background check.
You all do, right, everybody does, yeah.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to policy 3665, student safety as presented. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any public comment on this agenda item? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Policy 2161.
Okay, this special education draft. You'll see the age change here in an order dated on August 15th, 2025. Judgment upon settlement of the parties was entered against the Montana Superintendent of Public Instruction and the state of Montana class action suit initiated in Federal Court of Disability Rights, Montana. In resolution of the case, the state accepted the plaintiff's offer of judgment, and the resulting judgment provides that Montana public school districts have an obligation under the IDA to ensure a FAPE is made available to eligible students with disabilities until their 22nd birthday. In order to comply with the judgment and guidance in the future, we're recommending updates in the policies here. 2161 is what's been brought to you tonight.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to policy 2161, special education. Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Eight 1-6.
Okay, this is the recommendation to change the procedure itself, so it's the same policy, it just follows that and lines up with 2161, so that we have the procedural form.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the recommended changes to policy 2161 P1, special education procedures as presented. Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 817. We'll go to 8.18.
This is just the bond resolutions that Bridget talked about earlier for both the elementary and the high school that needs to be approved by the board.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the bond resolutions as presented for both the elementary and the high school bond. Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any further board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiffany?
Aye.
Aye.
And the second one is the elementary and high school tax compliance procedure that has to be approved as well. There's been a lot of paperwork, I tell you.
I move the Colstrip Public Schools Board of Trustees approves the tax compliance procedures relating to tax exempt bonds as presented for both the elementary bond and the high school bond.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Any public comment on this? Any for the board? Francis?
Aye.
Sabrina?
Aye.
Angie?
Aye.
Tiff?
Aye.
Aye. Move on to reports. Robert's not here.
No.
I was hoping for some more information from Robert on that boiler, so I think we'll table 9.01 till the work session. We can get all that information. So 9.02 administrative reports. Mr. Bailey.
Any questions?
I don't. I didn't have any questions or anything. If somebody has something to add. Jen, anything you need to add? Okay. With that, 9.03, Mr. Tremba, your report.
Okay, just a real highlight of last month. Last year, I joined the Association of Christian School Administrators and have a National Leadership Summit in Phoenix. So I got to hear some really good keynote speakers. I think the one that I highlighted here, mostly, his name is Chris Simming. And Chris, it was a great story because of his disability. He really struggles with what he had. Let me see, let me just kind of hit this first. I like the first paragraph of his book from Scribbles. He says, "My story exists because my life functions outside of the lines. The way the world sees my imperfections becomes the markings in how I celebrate." Chris was born with nearly imperceptible cases of cerebral palsy. He said it just kind of was in his hands. You couldn't tell anything in the way he moved, the way he spoke. But as he spoke with us, he was extremely hard to understand, very difficult time walking. It basically hit him one morning. He woke up, his life changed overnight, just like that. So to hear his story about how he went through school, his mom just flat out saying, "You function great, your mind is there, you're not going to be on any IEPs or anything different." But he says it was just great for anybody to relate to that has any kind of disabilities or struggles, because he did say he went through all of that. So you just sit there listening and thinking about students and anybody really, that what they go through and how important it is to help them, to understand them, to work with them. So it was really inspirational. And he was kind of funny because very hard to understand his speech. And he said that often he, introduces himself to people and they get a kick out of it because he tells them that he's a motivational speaker and they don't believe him because he doesn't speak so well. But he had the whole audience quite captivated, telling how he overcame things in school and had this productive life. So, and again, you've heard a lot about the bond. That's probably been the biggest thing going on with us as far as our meetings and being on top of all those things. Just getting that great rating. So kudos to everybody who helped with that, especially Brittany, that did all the legwork there so that we got such a great rating, such a great return for our district. Evaluation time of year, and then a grant that I worked on for capturing kids' hearts. So that's going to save us quite a bit of money, and be bringing that next month or end of this month. Yeah, end of this month. They said they would like it.
Okay. Board, anything else? All right, with that,